The breath of Miles Davis, the trumpeter, composer, and band leader we should all know. One of the reasons I chose Miles Davis for this presentation is because he inspired me to play the trumpet. This is my trumpet here. I can play nothing like Miles, but his music has touched me enough so that I could seek out that music and try to play my own, but whatever. Miles Davis was born in the 1920s, and he began learning trumpet in 1938. He began his career in 1944, and then he took a hiatus break in 1975. In 1980, he restarted his career, but then soon passed away in 1991. Miles Davis, as a trumpeter, began to play around with his trumpet to find new sounds. He began to go electric during a time where rock and electronic music wasn't in for jazz musicians, but Miles Davis was a big fan of African rhythms, funk, rock, and electronic music, that he wanted to implement that sound into his jazz records. His complexity and his manipulation of sound is what a lot of people know him for. Sometimes there'd be high-pitched squeaks, and there'd be these little sounds that you don't know like what instrument that comes from. That's because Miles likes to have like different sounds and textures in his music. Miles Davis likes to be spontaneous because he doesn't like to repeat himself. He likes to have that improvisational style while he's playing live. He doesn't like to repeat songs the same. He wants them to have a new being, a new life. This is how I would put it. The music leads the musician, not the musician leading the music. And so I feel that that's how Miles played his music, where the music leads and he follows that music. Miles Davis, as the composer, is very innovative because he uses a lot of instrumentation, different styles of playing, and he incorporates that all into a single set or a single song. He, as I mentioned before, he used a lot of electricity in his music. So he used the pedal, a wah-wah pedal, which basically he would connect this pedal and a mic, and he would just amplify his sound through the trumpet with the wah-wah pedal, and it would just make the noise like wah, wah, wah. And so when he'd play those notes, the notes would come out a little bit distorted, a little bit more nuanced, different sound. And so he liked to play a lot with the trumpet and to make it sound different, and how to make it sound something that no one's ever heard of. So he liked to evolve his sound. He pioneered fusion, which is basically jazz mixed with other different genres like funk, rock, electronic music, and African rhythms. His discography has a variety of sounds and a variety of musicians, which all come together to create something very different, very new, and very unique. Miles Davis has been known to play with big names like Joe Zawinul, John McLaughlin, Chick Corea, and just to name a few. Miles Davis, as a band leader, he liked to empower his musicians. He liked to empower the people listening to his music, and above all, he was equal musicians with his bandmates. He liked to share the spotlight with everyone. He wasn't a hog or anything like that. He was very influential by branching out of jazz and playing with other various musicians that didn't play jazz, and he liked to explore that area and to make something new with his music. His artistry is amazing because he saw playing music as an art, and it's not commercial. It's not something you can buy. It's not something you can monetize. But for him, it was something that a black kid can pick up and resonate with, and see that there's another person out there that looks like him, that can be like him, that can do the same thing that Miles Davis is doing. And I think that's very inspirational. And Miles Davis has claimed to change the face of music various times, and I believe so. Like, I believe he changed the face of jazz like various times in his lifetime, and also his bandmates changed the way that jazz was heard. And Miles Davis is an amazing musician. He's world renowned. He has various albums that are full with different sounds, different textures, different tones, different moods. I suggest you pick up just one album from Miles Davis and take a listen. Don't even think about anything. Just put it in the background. Walk around your house, maybe. Listen to Miles Davis. He's really good. That's one of the reasons why I picked up the trumpet. But yeah, check out Miles Davis.